Oh, hello. How are you? How's you? How you doing?
Full house.
You guys are chilling. You guys are chilling.
I don't even have a nice chair.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Sure,
It's great. Oh yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Little milkshake action? I'm just kidding. I would.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're gonna do this Q&A before the movie.
Where you want me?
Yeah, very good.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Hi.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, what's up? Do you want to ask, like, has anyone here not seen the
Yes.
Monsters?
Yeah, let's ask. Any version?
Okay, we got a few.
Whoa!
Whoa.
So many versions.
You can
Wow.
see people? I can't see anyway.
So many versions.
You can see hands.
A lot.
I could kind of.
Yes. The whole version joke that Ashley just you'll
get it later.
you'll get it in a minute. You'll get it in a minute.
Just catalog all the references for your
Yeah.
screening.
So the people that haven't seen it were brought by someone who has seen it. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you. Good friends. Good friends.
Anybody come completely randomly?
Oh wait, I see a hand.
Yay,
Yes. Nice.
This dude was like, this
That's
movie just
awesome.
sounds fucking.
He's
You were just like shopping at Target, and you're like, oh, let's see a movie. Let's see a movie.
Traffic-y.
This Monster Squad looks weird.
Dunkirk sold out. Let's go to this thing.
We've seen the movie.
You've
Yes.
You've seen the
T-shirt.
Whoa!
Got the same.
Look at that. Like 2, 4,
With
16 of
Phoebe
them.
on it. We searched.
Yes.
Yay, you found like the one poster that I'm on.
All right. Oh, let's do housekeeping first. So, how many? We're doing the Q&A now ahead of time because of timing. But after your viewing, we'll be down in the lobby to kind of take photos and sign stuff. Anybody bring something to sign? And your shirts?
got it.
Oh yeah, you got that. Who didn't bring anything to sign? It should be the rest of you. Okay. Don't worry about it. Everybody's leaving with a signed poster. And it is the Australian one sheet, which is the only poster that the hero of the movie is on. So yeah, so that's kind of the housekeeping stuff. We just want to make sure they know what the kind of show flow will be.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, so you wanna ask some questions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
All right. I'll ask. One of the things I'm interested on is you guys have been touring this film around. It's the 30th anniversary. How has this movie changed for you over time? What do you see it as now? What do you love about it now? What do you love about it now that you didn't then? What do you don't like about it now that you did then?
How many questions is that?
Yeah, I don't know if I can remember all of that.
This is day 15 of a 17 city in 17 day tour. So bear with us in a minute if it takes a minute to get warmed up. We just got off the plane, like came over
We
here.
circled LaGuardia for like an hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know.
That's what they
What
get
do
to
you,
hear. They were
what do you,
like,
what-
has it changed
Has it
from this
changed?
tour or just in the last year? It's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't watched it on this tour yet. Hey, we're signing posters while you guys are watching the movie.
Yeah.
No gas.
We just signed
please.
300 of those bad boys, so easy.
But I'd say that as I've gotten older, the movie feels like a really cool, expensive home movie. In the best way possible. As a little kid, I think it was just something that kind of came and went, because it did kind of come and go.
Not for us.
Well, not for you amazing people, but for the mainstream. And so, it wasn't until 11 years ago that it sort of resurfaced as like a completely different entity, and morphed from just like this thing I did that no one saw to, wow, this thing I did that a lot of people really like. So that's really cool.
I mean, I actually just watched it in San Francisco because I lived there for a long time, so I had some friends, and I invited a bunch of friends, and they all came down and laughed at me, and I think when I watch it now, it kind of, the characters changed for me a little bit. Before it was just kind of like, it seemed like maybe it was a caricature, and now when I hear certain lines, like, I heard he killed his dad, and like all these like rumors about my character, It just seems like there's like a little bit more going on there than what is on the surface. Like you can kind of picture what his home life might be like, and I didn't really play it that way so much, but it just seems like there's a little bit more going on there than meets the eye. So I watched it a little more objectively than I did before.
When we would watch it over the number of years, I would, look, we're all actors, you're gonna watch yourself, right? But that gets old after a while.
You guys are in this thing?
So you start like not watching yourself and being you-centric and watching other people or other things that you would never focus on, and that starts to be kind of cool. And you're like, well, I don't even know they did that, or who's that guy? And
Who's your favorite that guy?
who's my favorite that guy? You know what? My favorite that guy is at the very end. I'm not, well, and I don't spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but
There's a very end.
there's an end. And we win. And there's a guy that's like sitting on like a turned over bucket or something, and then he's just like, I was like, who is that guy? He was like 30 feet away from us. I never saw him.
He's reeling
It's
from
all,
monster
all the
action.
stuff's all destroyed and everything. There's a crazy kind of action sequence at the end, and this guy's just like sitting there like, oh my god. And I was like, who is that? I think that's my favorite. Who's that guy?
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you, I guess, this is, I guess in a similar vein, but can you tell me when you first started feeling the sort of bubble of resurgence the Monster Squad was having? You mentioned that it's been about 11 years now of like real concentrated action of people loving this movie, talking about this movie, coming to see this movie again. How did you guys start to notice this happening?
It was immediate the day of the original cast reunion screening that us three did with Fred Decker at the original Alamo Drafthouse in downtown Austin in 2006. And that's why we're sitting here tonight, 10 years after that, or 11 years after that day, because of Tim League and Eric Vespi from Ain't It Cool News wanted to do, they found a 35 millimeter print, and asked us to come into a weekend in Austin, right? We were all like, it was all really kind
Maybe
of,
this will be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be like 10 people there.
they did 2 sold out shows the day before Easter, and then Monster Squad fandom went,
It resurrected.
and
Well, the DVD came out of that screening.
yeah,
Is
because
because
everybody
everybody
was
was asking, where's the DVD? Where's the DVD? And we were like,
And Fred Decker said, start writing letters and calling people and writing emails, and I guess it worked. They heard, and Lionsgate discovered that they had the distribution rights at the time, and we were at a convention earlier that next year, and a guy was there, was like, hi, my name's Michael, and we're producing your DVD, and we're doing your commentaries and the stuff, interviews tonight in the hotel room.
we were like, what? Right, huh?
We were
What?
like, sorry, who are you?
Well, what's happening?
And then that came out, and the funny thing about that DVD is Lionsgate had no idea what was about to happen. And it released and it sold out in 3 days. And then they made another press and that sold out in like a week or so. And then the third press made out in like a third week, and they were done within a month, and like it was out of print again. So everybody felt like 20 years ago when you just had your VHS and that was it. But then we had a Blu-ray came out, another Blu-ray came out. It's been on Netflix now, which you've made it then. It wasn't on Shudder.
Trying, bud.
Get it there, let's do it. But
Working on it, jeez.
It's just kind of, we've done conventions and screenings, appearances and shows and podcasts, and it's just nuts. Just absolutely nuts and crazy. And it's still going. It's not it's
Yeah, we're here tonight. We're celebrating.
yeah, we thought it would kind of like wane after like a year, or maybe, and then we're like, oh, maybe it's 2 years. Nah, it's the trajectory's doing that, and it's getting deeper. Because how many little ones do we have in the audience tonight?
Wait.
Got any little ones? Any kids?
in here?
There we go.
That's against the rules.
This again. So this is non-kid night, date night kind of stuff. Okay, got it. Awesome.
4-year-old that just showed last Saturday.
Yeah,
Wow.
I believe you.
Not his shirt.
Was he scared? Was he scared?
He wanted it.
Wow.
4 is the new 8. That's awesome. But yeah, we have a whole second generation of Monster Squad fans now because original fans are showing it to their kids, and it's connecting. It's crazy.
All right, so who has questions? Who's here that has questions?
Oh, go. Yeah.
All right, I see back there. I think so. Right hand. Okay, cool. Go for it.
When you guys were the age that you were when you made this movie, what was your favorite horror movies at the time?
Okay, so the question, if anyone couldn't hear, is what were your favorite horror movies at the time that you made the Monster Squad?
My parents were so awesome that this thing went goodbye. Okay, and I'm back. My parents took me to see. Stop doing that. They took me to see The Shining when I was like 9. This will be fun. About a month later, I wound up seeing a psychiatrist because of the Grady sisters were like constantly haunting me down my hallway. But to this day, it is pretty much my favorite horror film, for sure.
I think that I had just seen for the first time Jaws when we made this movie. And that movie kept me out of the ocean for a good 10 years. So I still think it's one of the best movies ever made, so. Jaws.
Andre's
Are we
texting all of you the
interrupting you, Andre?
answer.
You have to leave
Somehow
the
he
Alamo.
has
You're not
everyone's
supposed
phone
to text
number.
in
I don't know
here.
how that.
That
They're
was
gonna kick you out.
that was
Ryan got kicked out.
that was my mom. It wasn't. I'm kidding. But I got a because it means he took a text from his mom. So blocked. I was always a Creature from the Black Lagoon fan because he was kind of rad and bitchin' and totally different than all the other classic ones. But kind of like modern movies. Oh, what did I say the other day? I said a good one.
The Blob.
Yeah, no, I like The Blob. The Blob's kind of so different. I like all these fringe
The 80s
ones.
Blob, the remake.
I like them both, but
No,
the
88 Blob rules.
Yeah, the 88 Blob's really good.
The Stuff.
No, the Blob, not the Stuff. Hey, if we're doing like Alien versus Predator and like Avengers, can we have like the Stuff versus the Blob?
Does anyone remember
The
the
Fluffernutter and Monsters.
Right. And then it's like, that would be a great movie. Let's do Sam. Let's do that movie. Let's do that movie. I said you guys have those great classic ones, and I went campy the other day with April Fool's Day. Because if you're gonna go 80s slasher kind of whatever, I liked April Fool's Day. It was kind of fun. I mean, there's
don't worry.
Creep Show and Demon Night and stuff like that, which is awesome.
Basket Case?
Not Bordello of Blood. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool stuff. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Nightmare 3, Halloween
Dream Warriors.
3.
Dream Warriors?
Yeah. But there's a lot,
Season
right?
of the Witch?
But you like classic stuff too. You
Yeah.
like your Jaws is classic, and you like stuff. But you like Hammer stuff. And,
I love all the Hammer stuff.
So-
Has anybody seen the Hammer TV show?
Hammer House of Horror?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
I have that box set.
Well, had you guys been exposed, I guess, to the monsters beforehand? Like, the monsters in the Monster Squad are cut from the Universal and the Hammer cloth.
Oh, absolutely.
Had you guys seen that stuff before? If you hadn't, had Fred, made you watch it or asked you to watch it?
I had seen most of that stuff before. This thing blows. Oh, hi. Yeah, I saw all the Hammer stuff, but the classic stuff too. I loved The Invisible Man. Like, that was such a good black and white classic. Phantom of the Opera is amazing. The Wolfman is crazy. But yeah, all that stuff. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Who, Nosferatu. Oh my God, that's insane. Oh yeah. Allow me. Yeah.
It's kind of working. It's on and off.
It's on and off.
That's all right. We'll share.
Someone else next.
I'll project. I'm an
There we
actor.
go, right there.
Oh, sure.
What is each of your favorite monster performance from the movie and why?
What was
That's a
each of
good
yours
question.
favorite monster performance from the Monster Squad, and why?
I think it's
I think
Duncan.
we all
I
had-
think it's gonna be Duncan.
It's
because
Duncan.
he's so truthfully scary.
He's a really good
Like
Dracula.
he really owns that badassery of Dracula in our movie, and he was terrifying in person and terrifying on screen.
Yeah, Duncan. Gotta be, right?
In a similar fashion, there's a bit of a mystique around Tom Noonan. What was it like working with Tom as Frankenstein and him as an actor?
We have no idea how it's worked with Tom Noonan. We never met him.
Yeah, we met Tom Noonan in 2007.
We met Frankenstein's monster on the set. And that's all we got to work with.
Wild.
Yeah, I had to rent Manhunter to see what this guy looked like.
And you were like bitchin' tattoo, man.
And then I wish I hadn't rented Manhunter to see what this guy looked like. Yeah.
Questions? Yeah, right here.
Ashley, how did you, we saw pretty much how you handled it, but how did they get away with the bitch thing?
So I was actually not on set when they shot him saying, "Give me the amulet, you bitch," and I didn't even know that that's how the. Yeah, hello. Huh? I didn't even know that that's how the scene ended until the premiere when I saw the movie, and I was like, "Oh, that's the end of the scene? Oh, yikes, man, that's pretty harsh." So they, with kids, you only have a certain amount of hours that you can be on set to work. So they would usually shoot me and then send me home, and then poor Duncan or Tom would have to do their lines with the script supervisor standing next to the camera. So yeah, they were, they kept it pretty separate, and I couldn't read at the time, so I had no idea.
But your scream is real.
So real.
I see a
wait till you
hand
see that.
back there.
Were there any improvised scenes in the movie that made it to the movie?
Did you guys do any killer ad libs?
I don't, not that I can recall, and Ashley always brings up the point, which is spot on, is one, you usually don't give kids a lot of leeway to improv stuff. Because one, they usually can't do it, and the number two,
You're gonna end up with a lot of poop jokes.
you get in a poop jokes and laughter, but you don't have a lot of time when you're dealing with kids on the set. I mean, that's why they say don't work with kids and animals, and it's not animals and kids, it's kids and animals in that order, because Ashley was.
I think I could shoot for 3 hours a day.
Yeah, she could be on location or on set
On
for
set,
6
in front
hours,
of the
7
cam-
hours total.
On location for 6 hours, or 7 hours
Something,
probably, and then in front of the camera for 3.
For 3. And you have to go to school also.
For 3
each day,
hours.
For 3 hours minimum. And Ryan and I were in an older group, so we could be much longer, but still it's like 9-10 hour day tops, and you gotta go. And so, especially that last final sequence and a lot of the other movie, they would shoot all of our stuff first, and then we would have to be sent home, and then the adults would stay and make a movie. And it went late in the morning. So, not a lot of improv with kids. If you find a director that wants to let a kid let improv, show me that guy, because I want to buy him a beer.
Yeah.
Did any of you read for different roles, or were you immediately cast for the roles you ended up with?
For anyone who couldn't hear, the question was, did any of you guys audition for different roles, or was it pretty much who you were cast for from the beginning?
I actually read for Frankenstein's monster. But they actually have a really good story.
And it's so obvious why it worked out this way. But I originally read for the role of Rudy, and never read for the role of Sean Crenshaw. And callback, screen tested, did it, went away. A couple weeks later, they called back and said, "Hey, you got the movie that you read for a couple weeks ago, but you didn't get the role you read for." And I was like, "Oh." And they're like, no, you got the lead." And I was like, "Oh." Rudy was really cool. He was the cool kid. And but it works out it worked out as better, because Ryan's a much better Rudy. I would have been okay. I'm halfway cool. But Ryan rocked it, and his audition story is crazy good, and that's why he went in there and went boom and was Rudy. And kind of still is Rudy.
Kind of. Yeah, no, I read for Rudy, and that was the end of that. Walked into the office, Shane and Fred were sitting there, and I looked at Shane Black, and I said, he had a pack of marbles in his pocket. Can I grab one of those? And they were like, oh, shit. I don't think we should let this kid smoke. It's like, you wrote it into the script. It's in the script. He smokes. So I lit up, we did the scene, I left, and they called me the next day. Like, you're a Rudy. That's it.
All right, we got one more. We're gonna go with the T-shirt.
All right. So with everything between the 80s nostalgia and, how, fans are coming and supporting you and how things are in Hollywood, are there talks of a remake of The Monster Squad, and would you guys fight to be in it?
So, question was, in the nexus and valley of 80s nostalgia we're living in, what kind of talks have there been about reviving the Monster Squad, and how do you feel about it? What do you want to be a part of it? What do you want to do?
So they actually were remaking this movie.
Remake.
Yes. Michael Bay's company was remaking it.
Didn't happen.
I love our fans, because they
yeah,
boo every time I say that.
Yeah, you do. They do.
Mark Wahlberg would be Sean, right?
When Universal announced the Dark Universe, that killed the remake.
And then
so
the Dark
instead-
Universe died. But, oh, too soon? Dracula Untold was the first installment of that Dark Universe, by the way.
Yes.
Ooh, something to ponder. They went, oh, this sucked. We got to put Tom Cruise in The Mummy. I don't know. I'm not a Universal studio head. Remakes? No, I don't know. There may be something going on now. I don't have any idea. Sequels, different story? Sequel, right? More fun? Yeah. I think if it was...
If it was Shane and Fred, I think, or it was with their blessing or their spirit, it would be something that I would be interested in, but I don't know. It would have to depend, because this is so important to so many people in its origin that you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, you'd have to keep the... Because kind of what connects with everybody is the heart and the authenticity of what's going on. Because you couldn't remake, when you're doing the remake, it wouldn't be anything like this one. You just couldn't do it now. If you did a sequel and was updated with some kids in it, but with maybe us as adults or something, as long as it was done, for the original fan base, that would be cool. But if you tried to do this, let's just make this movie from scratch and go to this wider base audience, and we're mashing it, I can guarantee you it wouldn't land. And I don't care who was trying to do it. You'd have to pinhole that same heart and authenticity and make sure you capture. Look, we're at two next door to each other, two sold out Alamo Drafthouses in Brooklyn. 30 years later, don't mess with that. You got to do it right. You got to do it right. But if it was the right people, I think it would be neat. Right?
All right.
We're kind of wrapping it up there.
We're gonna watch this movie.
Yeah, one really quick thing to watch this, and we'll be out in the lobby. But touching on that heart and that authenticity, we're in 2 sold-out theaters. We're on a 17-city tour because of Monster Squad fans that are awesome. We're celebrating Alamo's 20th anniversary, our 30th anniversary, which is just mind-boggling. But this movie connects with people for some reason, right? It's you guys. You either understand it or you don't understand it, and you don't give a shit. It's something that's real and it's tethered to you, right? And I usually go longer in this explanation, but I'm gonna kind of get it short. But this amazing fan dynamic that we've now experienced for 10, 11 years, that's only getting deeper with the second generation, and we've heard these amazing stories over a decade now. And those stories are so interesting that they should be told and celebrated. And so instead of you guys always celebrating us, we're actually producing a documentary about that fan dynamic. And as you can see, you know, there's actually a production crew, ta-da, as on cue. And so we're capturing that love and that heart and that connection and why this movie connects with people. And it's because you guys are great. And it's about you, for you, and there's gonna be some really cool stuff in it. And if you go to, well, we'll have some cards on the table that have info, we'll get out of here, but if you go to thesquaddoc.com on either Instagram or the website and sign up, only Alamo people get kind of the first ins, and we'll be giving some giveaways and some kind of cool stuff, and you can track the progress, and you can send your photos to the Instagram page and link that with that and kind of track the progress of this documentary. But it's for you, about you. And it's our thank you and celebrating the other way for once. So that should be really fun. So we'll see you out in the lobby. Enjoy the movie.